I asked you what you wanted. Why did I even ask? Oh, but the things you 611 legendary saucy scoundrels asked of me.
I am dead. Not a big surprise.
You said you want Resident Evil 4 knife only, and I said, sure, even though this is already impossible. You said you want a no merchant run, and I said, gotcha. And you said you only want me to use access healing items, and I said, well, that's a weird kind of fetish you have there, Woody, but okay. Yet combining these three things together makes this the trifecta of hell. Holy Kennedy, grande queso! This challenge was the most tormented form of bingo I ever put myself through.
Oh my god!
A butter knife against the thousands of enemies in this game? Giving the merchant the cold shoulder? And relying on chicken farts to elongate my suffering? This trifecta was out to break me. In fact, it was so bad, I even asked for support from the master of this game himself. But he had nothing left but luck to wish for me. But it needed to be done. In the name of love. The love I have for your spicy gaming nuggets. And since I'm your Playsiera and you're my radiant raccoons, you're lucky you're so cute that I can't deny you anything. As all legends do, they need a start. And our start is more than rookie. Leon Kennedy, the world's crunchiest Casanova. Can we ever get enough of the president's favorite midnight snack? Oh, absolutely not, which is the reason why we're here in the first place. He is a member of the boy group The Raining Man, but the fangirls want a piece of that cake so bad that he needed a break from these groupies. So I sent him back in time into 18th century Spain. Before any gameplay even began, I already made the 3 worst mistakes of my life. Mistake number 1. I chose a new game with nothing to my name, and I have to survive the terrors of Tenant Grouchy 4 with the equivalent of a $3 million pouch from a Bosch girl. Mistake number 2. I chose professional difficulty. Why? Why did I do this to myself? Just to boost up my sex appeal to you guys? Is that even possible? Plus, I haven't played this game in 2 years and went into this without any prep. This meant I had to do each single part 10 to 40 times to barely make it through. And mistake number 3, I selected the normal outfit instead of the special option where I could have put Ashley into a metal corset so that her nuisance level towards Leon could be kept at bay. But as always, like the happy-go-lucky dumb biscuit that I am, I thought my ballistics would be enough to carry me through this nightmare. And oh, was I wrong. For now, as Leon, I was actually at peace. The 2 security guards even seemed to be immune to my charms.
Forget your makeup or something?
Our boy took the diss like a man and was confident enough to trespass into a foreigner's house. Excuse me, sir, please look at this photograph and tell me if you think my personality is as great as my looks. Sir? What? Oh my god, you already want a slice of me? No! I barely made it 1 minute into this without being torn into pieces. This wasn't necessary, Reginald, but you asked for it. In fact, these villagers wanted a piece of that fine American pie so bad, they were almost in a trance. Completely mesmerized. They could do nothing but stare as I brutally transported them into Valhalla. As I watched the life force leaving their bodies, I realized what other huge mistake it was to delete all my inventory right away, because there will be the inevitable unreachable boxes or far-range combat parts later on where I couldn't use my knife, so thankfully I restarted right away to leave the pistol in my case, but still got rid of the rest. That's how I made it to the village center. Let's see. We got the Pasta Luego farmers, the Cop Brûlé, and... What is with that chicken? It's almost like it's coming right at me, looking at me, staring at my soul. Oh god, what a psycho chick! But it can't have spotted me. I was so secretive. Oh my god! Oh yeah, the bingo part arrived. But luckily, all you need to do is run in circles and nothing will... Nothing will happen to ya. I found my first act, and also the true heroes of this run. Grenades. Basically, using them would make this run invalid, I'd say. But believe me, this stool became such a steaming hot diarrhea later on, added on top of the unreachable parts, that I actually have no other chance than to grab these bad boys. And now, be silent as you get to witness the biggest wonder of creation. A new life was born! These chicken farts will be my lifeline throughout this run, so it is here where I can put my aura farming skills to test and see how many eggs I can collect.
A few hours later...
Yep, I'm prepared. This stock will have to hold till the end of this run, and not to brag or anything, but I highly doubt they will. They tried to sandwich me. They tried to scramble me, but all I could do was laugh. They think they can crack me up with this cheap trick, that I would be so bland, forgo a little squat, and ram myself into this tripwire just to break my entire body structure and will to live? Ha! They chose the wrong egg to peel, because Leon, because I am way too excellent for that.
What? You think that shit's funny?
And then I met him, the darkest temptation of the run. Now you might say, for a knife-only run, why would ignoring this hooded mystery be any different? Well, my dear, listen to the man who might not be from the same sack, but who always has my back. My malware made me aware of the fact that if you upgrade the power of your handgun, your critical hit rate of the knife is boosted up as well, which could have made my life 300 million times easier. Oh, I wish I would have listened to you, my friend. Yet, I might be able to forgive Reginald his uber-aggressive approach to me. I mean, I get it. It's hard to think clearly when so much testosterone is right in front of you. But what I could never forgive is low effort. This man had the audacity to call me over, flash me his tales from the Crypt comic collection, and think I would be fawning over him? Pah! Forget it, you big doof. You might persistently stalk me throughout this entire game, but I will not even talk to you. For horde situations, I didn't use Dante's famous ladder strategy. I used my new famous ballistic strategy. That is making the most of iframes and save points. Iframes are when I enter an animation. In these seconds, I become invincible and even take down the poor souls that happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the save points seem pretty clear. I tried to run by or take out as many as I could, go back to a typewriter or door so that I could reload in peace whenever something unfortunate occurred. But mostly, I always relied on the RNG and was just super lucky on my successful runs, sometimes even very lucky as they took themselves out for me. Ha!
Jesus Christ, that's Jason.
Listen, I see how amazed you are by this fantastic gameplay. I know, it makes you go crazy. But I have you know that this becomes even more fascinating once you're aware that I'm playing on controller on my PS5 instead of a keyboard. That makes maneuvering generally harder as it is less precise, so cut me some slack for this run.
What? You think that shit?
Biggest story was the first time I had to use something else than a knife, meaning I have already failed the challenge. But hold on, you know what comes now. My favorite excuse of all runs. Say it with me, my little gaming nugget. It was a cutscene, as there's absolutely no other way of using another weapon, and I'm not aware of any glitches to go past this, so I let my peaceful ignorance save me here. And just like that, I successfully made it through the first chapter. But don't be too happy, as many more failures will come. Like, not even a minute later, at the start of chapter 2, thanks to the two absolute worst enemies of this game, Plagas and Boxes. These tentacle boys have a mean right hook that gets you out of nowhere, and they're basically unknifeable, so the only way to get past them is to avoid eye contact. And the boxes. Oh, what can I say? Instead of using a pistol, you could perfectly throw a grenade, but that would also be a failure nonetheless, right? So, with a broken heart, I used my wisely stored pistol. Our Leon really is the most sought-out cop filet out there, for even Shrek's uglier brother came to get a taste. But not with me! Oh, I was scared of this boss fight, don't let me lie, and I surely needed 10 tries as on any other part. But looking back on it, and knowing what I will have to suffer through, I can safely say that El Gigante is pretty easy. You can bait him into an attack, slip by, and land a few slices. The doggy helped as a distraction as well, and then the thick boy will show you his little worm 3 times, and the hardest part for me was to not mess up the QTEs. By the way, due to recent events in the Resident Evil community, I opened up a proof channel where I will from now on post the raw footage of these runs and maybe even stream these descents into madness live. Go check it out here, I have uploaded the hardest parts of the run there. As I was standing over his defeated body, I was feeling incredibly powerful. Up until now, I only had to use 9x and took out the scariest ooga with just my knife. Could this actually be possible? Oh, absolutely not! And all thanks to my crazed out superfans. No! Ashley Graham, my weirdest groupie. You even followed me here. God, this lady is the reason I needed a timeout in the first place, as she was invading my personal bubble to a disturbing level. See?
Follow me.
Jesus Christ! I guess I won't get rid of her no matter what I do. So I let her follow me, as she was gonna hopefully, unfortunately, probably get grabbed along the way.
Oh, you pervert!
Oh, Resident Evil 4, how much 2000s you are! Will this be my future? Being stuck here with these psychos? Oh, and Ashley did get grabbed alright. The village was the place where the seed of my frustration was planted. The plagas were booming, the traps were looming, and Ashley got kidnapped all the time. Yes, sorry, must have slipped. Only with my sheer dominance, exhilarating gaming skills, and stone-hard willpower, I was able to put Ashley where she belonged, decided over the fate of these Sorganatos, and arrived at the cabin. These 4 minutes surely were hell, and as always involved many in-depth experiences, but with my ballistic strategy of using iframes, meaning getting purposefully strangled to outgo a Plagas attack or just dumping the ladders like a maniac, this wasn't the absolute worst part of it all. But you know what was really getting on my nerves? Luis! This Spanish paella had the nerve to do nothing, as I was getting completely banged by this gang and then constantly mocking me with whenever I got hit. Unbelievable! When the deed was done, I left the crime scene with my victory march. Didn't even know who began following me as well.
Oh my god!
And would have dodged the lift with my sick moves like an absolute mother, were it not for a very special person. Yeah, my axe may have been dwindling, but my will to succeed wasn't. This is how I arrived at the very first time of this challenge where I seriously questioned my life choices. El Grande Queso. Mother Miranda, this fight was the 7 layers of hell for me. I got stuck here for 5 hours because this sour milk has 2 phases. First, he impersonates Willy Wobble, and then he is only half the man he used to be. The first one is easy thanks to the ladder. Climb it, jump down as soon as he is in his attack animation, make a cut, run around and rinse and repeat. I couldn't figure out the way to make Leon just, jump down, turn around and use the ladder as I was grabbed way too often, so I had to take the easy route around, yet this was super time consuming. Alone the first phase took about 7 to 10 minutes. Then came the problem. His second phase. This cheeky dangler had this hook that could basically one-hit kill me. You can actually glitch him out when you run into a specific spot, change the course a few times, then he forgets where you are, and you can slice to your heart's content. That needs to be done twice, but if you make just the slightest mistake, you are sent right back to the beginning, meaning you'd have to repeat his mildly impressing durable first time again. I thought I would be stuck here forever. I think my controller was the problem, as getting into the right spot was super hard. But finally, the stars aligned in my favor. In the most careful way, I padded forward pixel for pixel and hoped to be in reach to cut the big cheese. Was it elegant? No. Was it graceful? Hell no! But it worked, goddammit. I did it! Even damageless. This is when I realized I was a goddess. Nothing will stop me, especially not this creepy fangirl. So I tried to trick her into an argument with a merchant about what they think of my curtain cut and tried to leave her behind. Run, Leon! Run!
Shit.
You know, I might have the throwing aim of Babe Ruth, but would I waste a precious chicken fetus for this? We made it to the castle, and just take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this game. Maldita sea, the entirety of it has probably less pixels than one frame of Resident Evil 9, but holy ganado, the vibe of this is still unreachable. It is here where I couldn't rely on my simple gamer goddess skills alone any longer. I needed the insights of a Resi 4 master to have the slightest chance at making it. And so, I would like to introduce you to the maestro, the legend, the king himself, Play King. This man is a walking Resident Evil 4 encyclopedia and has the kindest heart to help a doofus like me. I could turn to him whenever. He really became the Sherry to my Leon. I mean in the best way. And he gave me the best tips to overcome certain areas. All of these can also be found on his channel, so you better go over there and give him some love, as he has done for me. Thanks to him, the crank part became a non-issue. You can glitch the game out by using iframes. You just have to end the cranking animation when you're about to be blown into the afterlife by the bomb. And so, I get to be what I am most good at, being impregnable. I saucily switched out some blades by using the checkpoint reset again and... Oh Ashley, you're the biggest pain in the ass. Your worth for nothing killed me way too many times and make my life a living hell. But with which conviction you open up doors is absolutely phenomenal. Inside of the castle, King George tried to make me his queen, but I said,
"No thanks, bro."
And just like that, another happy little accident waited for me. The Garrador. This Wolverine cosplayer took me way too many attempts until I eventually figured out his patterns and cues. I was always in the wrong place and got hit by his claws, but then I learned how far away I would need to be to safely make him hit a wall and go for his back pimple. This took forever and oh, I can't wait for the double Garrador room later on. But finally, I did it. Ashley, come over here and look! You have the right to be impressed.
I tried. I did my best. Try it next year.
The water hall. Oh no, the water hall. This was purgatory for me. The only way to do it was by doing it in checkpoints again. That means going in, pulling up the crank, going out, and then the crank will be out in the open. But alone getting to these checkpoints was like eating a burrito and going to the loo the next morning. So I pulled the same trick that our charming Dante used all these years ago, and I watched a video from Signore Spiral Out from a zero shots run to find any light for this part on how to get by. This man is an absolute beast when it comes to this game and became my savior as well. In the first room, I couldn't deal with the headache that these two damn archers gave me, so I unfortunately used 2 incendiary grenades on them because, oh boy, my eggs are expiring. You know how much this part sucks, so you also know as well how much more hell the second room is. Here I am forced to grenade usages no matter what, since Ashley is tasked to do the easiest thing humanly possible, but can't evade these damn castle Ganados. The Ganados up there wouldn't have been so hard to deal with, even though throwing the grenades is a bit finicky. No, the Ganados down here are the problem. You cannot understand the actual physical pain I felt in this part. I spent 3 hours in these halls and got nowhere. So I used my grenades on the Ganados, swallowed down my eggs, and the run couldn't have gone any worse. I even wasted 2 flash grenades, but since getting to this door was the most relieving thing I felt in all of the 3 hours, I couldn't see any other way out. I swallowed my pride and was just happy to have made it out somehow alive. Well, my raunchy chicken nugget, this looks actually terrible. Not even losing Ashley could cheer me up, especially now that I arrived at chapter 3-2, where I have to go through Novistadors, the ass room, and the cake room, because it is even more ass. Now, for the Novies, all I had to do was run by them, which wasn't the problem, but because I only have 4 eggs left, I wanted to do it damageless, but these bugs didn't give me a chance. 20 tries, all for naught. I felt lucky to be left over in a yellow state after this whole ordeal. Being already on the ground, the game had nothing better to do than mock me and tease me with a first aid spray. As much as it made me sick to grab it, it really looks like the first usage will be inevitable. Sorry, Woody. The ass room would be undoable if I let the red pajama boy go to his turret, but it can be avoided if you reach him fast enough before, thanks to my plaking for this strat. However, to have the slightest chance at it, doing this would require me to clear the way up. Gosh, it took me so many tries to make these Ganados into Nobiamores, and so often I was unlucky as the game let them spawn into Plagas, giving me no chance to get by. Again, my problem was my shrinking number of eggs and trying to get past them damageless. And these goddamn archers! No! After wasting another hour of my life on this part and being so close to a mental breakdown, I decided, since I failed already so many times, to use a grenade to bump them archers into nirvana. That way, I can take the last 2 out in peace. Bro, are you ugly? Wow, it's almost impressive. Being so dumb, I also wasted 2 super good runs by not being fast enough, but eventually I managed to get the key by taking out the red PJ boy, and he even seemed to like it a bit. With only my teeny tiny egg left, you might understand why the cake room was the purest form of misery, since it is pumped to the brim with armed Ganados that use rocket launchers.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Again, try after try after try. My RNG was not yielding, which is how I eventually swallowed my last chicken fart and even used an aid spray. I let you down, Woody. Why? Why? Right after I took down my frustration on these innocent castle windows, fate mocked me yet again as I was gifted a brown egg right after my first heal failure. Thankfully, them doggies were really good boys. In fact, they are so devoted that the pain they feel from being ignored is so strong that their biggest weakness is being not looked at.
Leon.
Ada! Wow, your disguise was infallible. If you want some Leon meat, go get it.
See you around.
Ada!
Why is it always the things we want that we don't get? I just shot the unskippable bottle, escaped the cage rather easily, got by the rocket launcher room with just a little scrap, and treated Lewis the same way as he treated me, patiently watching him as he gets impaled. Since saving Ashley is already a failure in itself, I wasn't feeling too bad as I inevitably had to use gun and grenade force here. The Ashley part had nothing to mention, except I did use one of them oil lamps, so I guess that's another failure. And since we're at it, I went back and also grabbed the rocket launcher because, yes, its unavoidable usage sure is about to come. But not yet. Now I was going through hell itself. Literally. This room took me way too many tries as I couldn't figure out the best way. Which ones should I take out? Should I shoot the stone figures right away, or only the ganados on them? Eventually I did use my gun to sink the stone figures into the lava as I couldn't deal with their fire attacks, grabbed what I needed, epically dodged the rest and altered the laws of physics as I jumped through a metal fence. Imagine how shocked I was that you can actually knife down the trap room.
Leon, look at the ceiling!
Thank you, Ashley. I wouldn't have seen it without your help. I wish I could say the same thing for these two easy riders. Guess what's next? The night room. No. No. Jesus. This was where I also turned in dire need of help to Waifu, but he had no clue if this was doable with just a knife. For a fact, you can knife their helmets down, but once the Plagas is released, that game is over. Thankfully, my man Playking told me being here on professional is actually helpful, as that makes their attacks predictable and plannable. I kind of felt that, as through that they were at least somehow sortable. But after another 2 hours of tries, and not even getting 2 out of 3 to explode from the first 3 nights, I was happy to have had enough bullets and to be able to do it with a not upgraded pistol and flash grenades. Ashley, what are we even doing? Why do you keep following me after so many failures? Has my attractiveness not shrunken a bit after all this so that you can finally leave me? No. Well, I guess I appreciate your devotion. But if you do one more thing to piss me off, you pervert. Now these Snovies weren't so bad. In fact, I had one good moment right before them as I probably reloaded the game 50 times just to squeeze a golden egg out of this snake and then stayed on this balcony here. I took out the box, but of course the last sucker wasn't coming any closer, which meant a front attack was demanded, and of course I got completely molested by him. And you already know that you need firepower or grenade to break the locks on this gate. Wow. Look at that finesse. The agility. After all these failures, I was finally able to impress myself again. The same goes for the double Gyarados room. At my first dozen tries, I got very unlucky and awakened both of them at the same time, yet the clue is to only awake one of them and take this one out in peace. 2 at the same time is quite a bit too much for a Wolverine fangirl to take, so I repeated this until I got the perfect run, needed a lot of patience as these 2 muscle packs tank a lot of damage, but finally it was over. And for the Verdugo part, I made him stuck! Like Dante! Oh my god! Are the stars really aligning here? Can I become a Resident Evil 4 professional like the big boys? But don't worry, this glitch can be repeated, so I got him on my second try. The mines were crazy! I was floating on cloud 9, as no horde or chainsaw dude could stop me. The 2 Gigantes were actually easy. The first one got fright, and for the second one I ran towards the ladder, tempted him, jumped down to tickle his balls, and he even seemed to like it a bit, which is why he showed me his little... No. I'm not going there, no, but yeah, this was actually doable. The same could be said for the Novistador's cave. No matter how often I tried my Forrest Gump strategy, there were too many for me to run by. They always hoarded the exit, giving me no room to breathe anymore. Literally. My patience was running thin. I was already at 20 play hours and just wanted to get this run through. So yes, I did shoot some of them down, and only like this it was able for me to get past it. My Play King comforted me by saying these bugs are the biggest pain in the ass for speedrunners, as their RNG is absolutely unreliable. They even destroyed world records. But maybe they add to mine, since this seems to be a world record of failures. God. I really needed that. The next hard part was the Donkey Kong section, and yeah, I tried to do it knife only. but with the plagas bursting and the chain sawing, I was like, hell no, activated my goddess complex and started to walk on plain air like our Lord and Savior himself, Barry Burton. For real though, I didn't know that you can actually skip the minecart without the Ditman activated, but I turned to my Master Play King and learned that you actually can. Wow! Just quick, the Salazar statue was okay. I only had to bait the Skenato somehow because his peripheral vision is the worst on this planet. So, I either had to use a grenade or a teeny bullet, but could easily free my way forward. I thought the cabin was fire. I thought Mendes was lava. And I thought the water hall was hell. But oh, there is no worse section than the lift. It's all of the before mentioned combined and worse. Not only do you get ganged up by a dozen red PG boys with maces, you get side attacked by 2 archers and a firework douchebag. On top of that, I only had 2 healing items left, meaning I had only 3 options to get past this. 1. Making it without damage. 2. Making it by using my pistol and grenades. And 3. Exit the game, delete the save file, and pretend it never happened. For the knife, you can get lucky and use the iframes to punch them off the lift, but for that, you need to be a Resi 4 professional. Again, I haven't played this game in years and started with only 70 play hours to my name. So after another 5 hours of being stuck here, I saw no other way. I took down the archers with my pistol and used a ton of grenades on the Ganados, while slicing them and kicking them off the elevator. It was a miracle that I even made it out alive. Merchant, you evil foe, don't just stand there and try to tempt me. Ignoring you is my only hope to actually achieve one thing in this run. That's why I picked up a rocket launcher in the castle, as Salazar can't be defeated knife only, which is widely known. The skip you can do here can only be done with the Ditman activated. And also I play on 60 FPS, is that also an issue? Either way, his intestines became wall decorations, and after panning a few minutes about why I do this to myself, I saw this. This game just uses every opportunity to make me boil over. Am I just a joke to you? Is my suffering only entertainment for you to spit in my face like that? I almost gave up. After all this, I would gladly take all my crazy stalking fangirls at once. But then, I remembered you, my sweet gaming nuggets. For you, I will do anything, even if my therapy bills will explode after this. The island began thankfully easy as I walked into a mountain and over the ocean. Of course, I will use any possible skip to make this easier on me. Overall, you can run by so much here. The first inevitable failure came with the firework guys, as the door will only open when you take them out from a safe distance. So, grenade it is then. The regenerators were surprisingly easy to dodge. I played with the claw machine and had a very long-lasting catch game with the Iron Maiden. Luckily this one is simple to take down as he becomes defenseless in his slip animation and boom! I am unhappily reunited with Ashley again. Of course, some hordes were not passable without a blonding moment, but surprisingly the RNG was once on my side here. Look at this!
Wow!
But then, the RNG was totally against me again in the boulder room. I saw a video from Senora Spiral out that there is a glitch where you put Ashley into a cowering position and spam the aim button. This way the enemies wouldn't spawn, but I couldn't do it. And after another hour full of failures, I barely made it through with these grenades. The truck part wasn't too bad after all. The life bar from these guys seemed to be dwindled down as they only needed 2 slices, but these damn trucks needed to be blown away anyway. So sometimes I even used an incendiary here. Oh my god. Why is this so hard, Merchant? You know, even though I will continue to give you nothing but the cold shoulder, you sure have the best shoulder to cry on. You can totally get by the cave worm knife only, but with my controller getting into the right animations took hours to learn. Again, he has two phases. The first one is easy to go by, as you should stick to his left, dodge the attack, and go for his bum. In the second phase, you can land a few cuts on him when he crawls out of the soil, run away, rinse and repeat. But that takes time, my dear. Of course, I wasn't able to be in the right spot in his second phase, meaning, like in the Mendes boss fight, I was catapulted right back to the beginning and had to undergo his first phase again. As my patience was already over the moon, I just used 4 incendiary grenades in his second phase to finally be over with it. Then, I met my boy group colleague Krauser. Even though this guy hits the gym 20 hours a day, all the ladies still just want some Kennedy snack. And that bothered him. That bothered him so much that he came after me to finally end this jealousy once and for all. And yes, it got pretty pathetic for Krauser. Oh dude, I wish I could say I'm sorry, but your 90% body mass of protein powder is just too ridiculous to be taken seriously. Oh, the end is near. Quite literally. The military island was as worse as I thought. The turret section had me fail over 30, 40, who cares how many times. One time I made it through perfectly without any grenade use, but then, a few inches away from the door, this gentleman couldn't say no to a little Leon taste. So I became so frustrated that on the try where I eventually made it through, it got so terrible. I used up all my healing items and almost every grenade, but still I made it through. The same goes for the semi-finale. 20 tries led me to nowhere. I thought to take them out ladder style, but that took forever, and I still got molested either way. So I blew up a gas barrel, blinded them, and barely arrived at Sadler's last stand. Yes, you can knife his eyes. Yes, there are some mad lads able to take him out completely knife only. Shout out to Senor Spiral Out. And yes, I probably could have done it when I have 1000 hours of playtime in this game. But that would have meant that you wouldn't get another video for the next
2,000 years.
So I was just happy that at least the micro ray of weapons I still had left were enough for Ada to drop me her sex bomb. Look at us, how we wobble away from this nightmare. Oh my god, do I suck. 306 deaths, 25 hours of playtime, and failure after failure after failure. But on the bright side, I actually got the Guinness World Record of failures, and at least resisted the Hudded temptation from the merchant. But I will never, ever do anything like that crap ever. Are you for fuck? Bye-bye.